Hey, this is Doug from High Tech Life. Today we're going to take a look at the Eufy Familock S3 keypad lock with integrated palm reader and see how it works. I'm going to install it here, going to unbox it for you, kind of show you how everything works, show you the app, and let you know what we think about it. I'll be taking a look at the S3. There is also a S3 Max. The S3 Max has a screen on the back end of it, so you can actually sort of see it. Maybe if you have a configuration where you don't have any windows around your door, that would actually be a useful option to go and take a look at. Kind of gives you a little bit of a peephole there. Both have a camera, so both can record the images. Just the S3 Max can show the back end on the back side inside the house. I have windows around either side of my door, so it doesn't really add too much. So I'm looking at the S3. The S3 Max should be pretty similar, but yeah, I'm really interested to see what this thing is going to do for us. So let's start unboxing it. Okay, so let's get this thing unwrapped. First thing I noticed is it's actually a pretty heavy box. So that leads me to believe the hardware is pretty solid inside of here. And so here it is. We have the lock itself, certified with Matter, Google, Alexa. I will probably try to use this with more Zigbee or Z-Wave via Home Assistant and see how that goes. But you can kind of see here where it talks about the palm vein unlocking, Wi-Fi integration, 2K head-to-toe video, so a vertical kind of video overall. Looks good. So let's go ahead and get this unwrapped, see what is in here. All right. Okay. There we go. Looks nice overall. Oh my goodness. This is really heavy. This is solidly built. Holy cow. That is whew. That's durable. And then this is what goes on the inside of your house. So this would be your end where you'd see it, and you'd manually kind of control that. And then here's where you do all this, do the hand sensing, things along those lines. So, yep, so that's kind of it right there. So you've got the main unit on the outside of the door. You've got the inside of the house portion of the body, the keys, door strike stuff, battery, and then, oh yeah, this has a secondary rechargeable battery. So this is actually just for backup, if I remember correctly, these batteries. And then the system mainly runs off of this one, and I believe there is one maybe already inside of here. We'll figure that out in a second during the install. But yeah, I mean, this is solidly put together. So it's just kind of, it's pretty sleek looking overall. It's kind of got a nice brushed finish to it overall. You've got your camera here, which it sounds like it's a vertical orientation, so you can kind of see people head to toe. What looks like kind of speakers here if you want to talk through this as well. And then you just kind of probably just a standard mounting where you put this through the door and then it's going to turn the locking mechanisms here. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and start on the install. Okay, first thing, if you are going to go and work on some door hardware, learn this one the hard way. It's helpful if you're doing it as a solo person to put some tape across it so that it doesn't fall off and fall into a bunch of pieces while you're working on it. There you go. So, simple there. Tip number 2, if you have a duct near where you're working with tiny small screws, maybe try to put something over that so that you don't lose any parts. Okay, now the tape is still holding on the front part of this older lock here. Then there's a cable disconnect on this one. Okay, door disassembly is done. Okay, so step one, take the deadbolt. If your door has 2 3/8 of an inch from here to here, as is, it's fine. Mine is 2 3/4, so you actually have to kind of give this guy a little twist, and it extends out a little bit there. So the word top engraved on here. And then what you do is put that in, the word top on the top, and make sure that this black centerpiece looks like it's mostly in the middle of the door, because the latching mechanism is going to have to go through that. And then just screw in the screws. And then make sure the door still shuts. And that's the end of step one. Okay, now we need to install the exterior keypad. There's a couple of main parts here. Cables, which will go underneath the bolt. And then there's this sort of tongue that comes through here, and this is what will actually turn the lock as you go through and do that. So, mount the cables underneath. And then this tongue going straight through there. Now, this is where having tape again is handy, because as I said before, this is a very heavy lock, and so I don't want this falling while I'm going and getting the other parts for this. So, good to have some painter's tape on hand. And then I'm just going to go and tape this down a bit around the front and over there. So now it holds, my hands are free, I can work on the back of that. Okay, next part is the back plate. Back plate, there's going to be an up, down, it's pretty clearly labeled. There's an up, down, and a cable slot right through here. And then you need 2 of these bolts that come with it. And so push the cables through. There we go. So I'm going to hold the keypad in the front, kind of provide some pressure there. And then get these cinched in the rest of the way. Always good to like go back and forth a little bit. Don't super tighten right at the start. Okay. There we go. Now, don't have to worry about that falling off. Okay. Well, now we got the front assembly on. Wires pulled through. So all we need to do now is put the rear assembly on. You got a manual turn for the lock here. You need to make sure that lines up. There's 4 mounting hole screws. You'll need to remove the front cover to be able to get to those. So, first thing you do is connect these cables. The red side on this cable with a lot of pins has to go up. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, we got that in. And now what I do, it's making...
Welcome to Eufy Smart Law. Please download the Eufy app to complete setup.
It's talking to me. And what I should be able to do now is manually.
The main battery is low. Please charge it in time.
And it's yelling at me about the main battery being low.
The main battery is low. Please charge it in time.
And maybe some more painter's tape would be good right about now. This is super handy to have when you're doing this type of home improvement project. And that's it. Lock on the front. Got this on the back. All I need to do now, put in the battery. There it goes. And then we're done. Voila. And I think this button is a lock button here.
Please download the Eufy app to complete setup.
Download the Eufy app to complete setup. Okay, so let's go do that. Okay, so it lights up with this light as you get a little bit close to it here. You can press the doorbell. And it lights up a in your app in the real time. That's pretty cool. I can go ahead and go to manage access. Add access for me. Always scheduled or one-time use, which is nice. I'm going to go really simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Passcode is too weak. Okay. 01, 02, 03, 04. And then I can do left hand, start enrolling. Okay, so it says it's unlocked. Locking, you have to hold it. Okay, now it says it's locked. Can't get into the house. And now we can get in. Door was unlocked by Doug's palm. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we've finished. The lock is installed. As you saw, it's really, really sturdy. And that installation was super easy. It took me maybe 20 minutes, and I had to get an existing lock already off of the door. And the lock's pretty cool so far. The handprint worked really well, and there's just lots of really cool features. The infrared night view is really, really good here. And then there's just all sorts of features that you can kind of set in here, like auto lock, so it'll just automatically lock. Wrong try protection. If somebody comes and tries to do too many wrong numbers on your lock, it'll freeze itself for a few minutes. A scramble passcode where you can put in a bunch of gibberish numbers and then bury yours in the middle if you're worried maybe in situations where there's people looking over your shoulder, maybe in an apartment complex or something like that. And that way you can kind of go and scramble that, and a bunch of chime settings and things like that. So yeah, all in all, it's a really, really well done option. So thank you for watching. There's a link for this down in the show notes down below. And then if you've stayed around this long, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit subscribe on the channel here. Just kind of getting started out, and my goal is to bring you more of these. I want to help save you some time, save you some money. So my name's Doug. I'm with High Tech Life. We'll see you next time. And there goes the screw already. Dang it. I knew this was going to happen.